What happens when a show that thrives on drama, charisma, and legendary lip syncs suddenly turns into a never-ending marathon of filler episodes, bizarre eliminations, and forced storylines? You get season 13 of RuPaul's Drag Race, the season that had fans begging for mercy. From the very first episode, viewers knew something was off. Instead of a traditional cast introduction, the queens were thrown into a six-way lip-sync battle royale, an exhausting, overproduced gimmick that left fans confused and frustrated. Then came the slowest elimination process in Drag Race history. Weeks dragged on with no one going home, and by mid-season, audiences were already bored out of their minds. But the real gag? This season lasted a jaw-dropping 4 months, that's right. While other reality competitions like Survivor and The Bachelor wrapped up their seasons in half the time, season 13 just wouldn't end. Fans were exhausted, social media was flooded with memes begging for it to be over, and the excitement that once made Drag Race a cultural phenomenon was nowhere to be found. Then there were the questionable eliminations, blatant producer interference, and a finale that left fans screaming. But not in a good way. So, what really went wrong? Was it the pandemic? Was it bad casting? Or was season 13 just a sign that Drag Race was running out of steam? Let's break down exactly why this was the most hated season of all time. Before we begin, I'm on my way to 2,000 subscribers, and I'd love for you to be part of the journey. If you love RuPaul's Drag Race, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update, a lip sync, or a behind-the-scenes moment. Imagine sitting down for a new season of RuPaul's Drag Race, expecting high-energy challenges, gag-worthy looks, and eliminations that keep you on the edge of your seat. Now imagine a season where nothing happens for weeks, where the same queens show up, do the same thing, and no one goes home. That's exactly what happened with season 13, and it drove fans insane. The 6 lip-sync premiere format was a bold, some might say ridiculous, choice. Right off the bat, the queens were split into winners and losers, a division that lasted for 3 whole episodes before the competition even properly started. By the time eliminations actually began, 3 weeks had already passed and fans were already burnt out. Then came the middle of the season, a complete drag desert of nothingness. Multiple non-elimination episodes, double saves, and a challenge structure that felt predictable and repetitive meant that instead of excitement, audiences felt stuck in limbo. The worst part? Season 13 lasted 14 episodes before the finale. By comparison, Drag Race UK Season 2, airing at the same time, wrapped up in just 10 episodes and became an instant fan favorite. By the time we got to the top 4, viewers were exhausted. Fans weren't excited about who would win. They just wanted the season to be over. And that's a terrible sign for a reality competition show. But was the pandemic to blame for this slow, drawn-out season? It's no secret that season 13 was filmed during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, and while every production was struggling, Drag Race was hit especially hard. The heart of the show is its chaotic energy. The queens bonding or feuding in the workroom, the tension of the judges' critiques, and the roar of a live audience during lip-sync battles. But with strict pandemic protocols in place, that magic was nowhere to be found. First, the lack of a live audience absolutely killed the energy of the lip-syncs. Usually, a Drag Race finale or even a major elimination lip sync is electrified by the crowd's reaction. But season 13's silence was deafening. No cheers, no gasps, just an eerie, empty stage that felt more like a dress rehearsal than a competition. Then there were the awkward social distancing measures. Gone were the group hugs, the messy backstage moments, and the in-your-face drama that made previous seasons so fun to watch. Instead, everything felt weirdly sterile and disconnected. Even when fights broke out, hello, Tamisha Iman versus Candy Muse, they didn't have the same explosive energy as past seasons. To be fair, the production team did the best they could under the circumstances. But the reality is, the season suffered. The restrictions sucked the life out of the show, making everything feel off from the start. The result? A season that felt lifeless and artificial, where even the biggest moments lack the spark that makes Drag Race legendary. A Drag Race season isn't complete without shocking eliminations, gag-worthy lip syncs, and jaw-dropping saves. But in season 13, the eliminations weren't just shocking, they were downright frustrating. First, let's talk about the queens who were unfairly sent home. Denali, a fan favorite from the start, was eliminated in a lackluster makeover challenge, despite consistently strong performances and delivering one of the best lip syncs of the season against Kimora Hall. Then there was Tamisha Iman, a legend in the drag scene, who left way too early. Many felt her elimination was rushed, and that production never gave her a real shot. On the flip side, some queens seemed to be getting a free pass no matter what. Candy Muse, one of the most polarizing contestants of the season, was saved in a dubious double shante against Simone, a decision that had fans fuming. Candy had undeniable charisma, but many felt her runway looks and performances were inconsistent, making her top 4 placement questionable. And let's not forget Tina Burner's bafflingly long run. While she had a strong drag reputation outside the show, her time on Drag Race was filled with underwhelming looks, stiff performances, and an over-reliance on red, yellow, and orange. Viewers couldn't believe how long she stayed in the game. By the time we reached the top 4, it felt less like a merit-based competition and more like a season where production had already decided who they wanted in the finale. These eliminations didn't just disappoint fans, they sparked debates online about whether Drag Race had become too scripted and predictable. If there's one thing Drag Race fans hate, it's when the show starts feeling too scripted, too forced, and too obviously controlled by producers. And in season 13, the overproduction was impossible to ignore. One of the biggest complaints? The forced narratives. Queens were clearly being pushed into certain roles. Candy Muse as the villain, Olivia Lux as the sweetheart, and Simone as the chosen one. While reality TV always has some level of manipulation, season 13 felt especially manufactured, with confessionals and interactions that seemed less natural and more staged. Then there was the inexplicable amount of screen time given to certain queens. While some contestants barely got any storyline, RIP Kimora Hall's edit, others, Candy Muse, Rosé, and Gottmik, were given massive amounts of airtime, even when they weren't performing particularly well. It made the competition feel imbalanced, as if production had already decided who would make it to the finale before the season even started. The challenges also felt repetitive and uninspired. Instead of pushing the queens creatively, there were far too many comedy and acting challenges, which heavily favored some contestants while leaving others at a disadvantage. Fans craved fashion, performance, and artistry, but instead, we got staged banter and cringy scripted skits. And let's talk about the finale, an event that should have been epic, but instead, it felt like a predetermined coronation for Simone. While she was undeniably talented, the lip-sync battles lacked real tension or surprise, making the entire event feel flat and predictable. By the end of the season, fans weren't just frustrated, they were tired. The magic that made Drag Race special felt lost, replaced with overproduced, inorganic television that left fans wondering, is the show even about drag anymore? Or just about ratings? If season 13 felt underwhelming, part of the reason was that fans had a much better option airing at the exact same time, RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 2. While the US version dragged on for months with forced drama, overproduction, and frustrating eliminations, the UK edition was fresh, exciting, and truly unpredictable. One of the biggest differences? Authenticity. UK Season 2 felt like a return to classic Drag Race, where the queens were hilarious, real, and unfiltered. The banter in the workroom felt genuine, the lip syncs were high energy, and the eliminations actually made sense. Meanwhile, Season 13 in the US felt like a producer-controlled, over-polished TV show rather than an organic competition. Another major issue was length. Drag Race UK Season 2 wrapped up in just 10 episodes, keeping fans hooked and engaged the whole time. In contrast, Season 13's marathon 16-episode run felt never-ending, making it harder for fans to stay invested. Then, there was the finale comparison. While Drag Race UK gave us an emotional, high-stakes showdown between Bimini, Lawrence, Tayce, and Ellie, the US finale felt predictable and underwhelming. Fans already knew Simone was going to win, and the lack of live energy made the whole thing feel flat. It was a wake-up call. When given a choice between a fast, fun, and authentic season versus a dragged-out, overproduced one, fans will always choose the former. At the end of the day, Season 13 of RuPaul's Drag Race will go down as one of the most frustrating, exhausting, and overproduced seasons in the show's history. What was supposed to be an exciting return to the workroom became a marathon of filler episodes, producer-driven storylines, and questionable eliminations. Instead of gagging over the drama, fans were begging for the season to end. The biggest lesson here? Drag Race thrives when it feels authentic, fast-paced, and unpredictable. Fans don't want 16 drawn-out episodes, forced narratives, or a finale with no suspense. They want raw talent, fierce competition, and a show that feels like it's celebrating drag, not manipulating it for ratings. Season 13 was a warning sign. When a competition show loses its excitement, drags on for too long, and prioritizes production over heart, even the most loyal fans will start to lose interest. This season may not have sashayed away completely, but it certainly left fans wondering, where did the magic go?